Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again, and welcome to The Roads with Belle. Today is April 13th, 2025, and this is episode 86 of The Roads Not Taken, which is a weekly series where we go over the news that was unreported, underreported, didn't get the coverage we felt that it should, or we just found it interesting. And then we go through a few questions from y'all. Today is April 13th, and today is National Scrabble Day. So play Scrabble. And on this date in 1970, Apollo 13 radioed, "Houston, we've had a problem." And there's about to be a Mandela effect discussion. Starting with foreign policy. The U.S. removed a Space Force commander in Greenland after she sent out a base-wide email trying to create unity among the U.S., Canadians, Danes, and Greenlanders on base after the Vice President's visit. The email said, quote, "I do not presume to understand current politics, but what I do know is the concerns of the U.S. administration discussed by Vice President Vance on Friday are not reflective of Bidufik Space Base," and added, quote, "I commit that for as long as I am lucky enough to lead this base, all of our flags will fly proudly together." Michigan Senator Alyssa Slotkin introduced a bill to the Senate that would prevent Chinese autos from being sold in the U.S. There are currently a grand total of 0 Chinese cars on the U.S. market. And given that whole trade war thing that's been all over the news, there won't be any anytime soon. Ukrainian allies have pledged billions more in defense funding to help the invaded nation. There are also reports of Chinese nationals being caught fighting for Russia. All indications point to them being Chinese contractors, and not a sign of a policy shift by China's government. Iran and the United States are starting what Iran calls indirect talks. Trump has authorized the military to secure a strip of federal land along the southern border. In U.S. news, some Democratic senators are calling on the SEC to investigate possible market manipulation by Trump. The Democratic Party is working on a plan to make Doge answerable to Congress. In other Doge news, it looks like the Government Accountability Office will be auditing Doge. That should be interesting. The highly controversial Safeguard America Voter Eligibility Act, or the SAVE Act, passed in the House. It doesn't seem like it has the votes to get through a Senate filibuster. Iowa's Republican Governor Kim Reynolds announced she won't be running for another term. Both parties have begun their search for a candidate. In cultural news, Michelle Obama said she wasn't divorcing her husband because apparently there were rumors after she missed some public appearances. China is going to cut down on Hollywood imports, which will again reduce American influence abroad. Elon's gaming livestream was interrupted by people in the comments explaining how much they dislike him. In science news, the CDC has reportedly denied a request from Milwaukee to help with unsafe levels of lead in public schools. Reporting says they denied it because they lack the personnel due to layoffs. Trump's proposed budget will slash NASA and science funding. RFK Jr. says Health and Human Services will determine the cause of autism by September. Because we all know research on a timeline with a predetermined goal is always effective and reliable. In economic news, the bond market freakout, which I can't believe that's kind of become the accepted term for it, has triggered concerns that the U.S. is no longer a safe haven. Oil prices have dropped more than 20% since Trump took office. So this is something that might be celebrated initially, But this appears to be mostly driven by a drop in demand, which is a bad thing because it's normally indicating a recession ahead. The Trump administration basically needs to get a trade deal per day to make his 90-day pause make sense. That seems ambitious. There's speculation that a series of pointless deals might be how Trump walks away from his ill-fated trade war. In Oddities, the Democratic Party is reportedly working on a campaign to get Musk totally out of the administration by June. Trump has apparently made it a priority to make daylight savings time permanent. In Australia, a woman gave birth to a stranger's baby following an IVF mix-up. On to the Q&A. We're going to start with one about the VP's trip to Greenland. I assume you'll be defending the DEI hire who got fired for running her mouth about the VP. Make sure you tell everybody she broke the chain of command and explain the military protocol behind that. Gladly. The vice president isn't in the chain of command. I'm guessing that's not what you were expecting. But if you'd like to talk about military protocol on that trip, that was a really nice hat the VP was wearing in the chow hall. Why is China blocking our LNG shipments? They need that. Trump was supposed to be good for the industry. Okay, so LNG is liquefied natural gas, and China can get that in a lot of other places. Trump has made it very clear that he wanted to expand U.S. exports. So, of course, it becomes a target. Every time Trump publicly voiced grievance, it became a target for trade retaliation. So, that looks like it. A little more information, a little more context, and having the right information will make all the difference. Y'all have a good day.